Good evening, hello, welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused, my weekly live show where I chat to you about social media, about video, and all the stuff that you could be doing as a brand and as a business for free to make sure everybody is talking about you on this thing right here, the mobile phone. If your audience and your community are not talking about you, then who are they talking about? Maybe they're going to be talking about your competition and the people who they want to spend money with. Maybe they could be talking about you if you're consistent enough. So that's what we are doing today. We're going to be talking about social media, about video. We are going to be answering your questions, the questions that you've asked over the last few days. And I'm just going to get them all into one place right now so that I can just basically go through them and answer them as quickly as I can. We've got about 7 or 8 questions to go through. If you've got any questions you want to ask right now about social media, about video for your brand, your business, stick them into the comments, whatever platform you're watching on, whether it be Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, or on Facebook. I'll do my best to answer them all. Yes, we would normally be live on Instagram this evening, just not really had a chance to set it up, and time has got away with me. But I want to make sure that I do this live for you tonight. So we're going to answer those questions. If you've got any, stick them into the comments. First things first, to let you know who I am. I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios, and we're an award-winning visual marketing agency. We're based in the UK, and we help brands and businesses create content that really makes them stand out on social media. Now, it could be video, animation, aerial work, all sorts of different types of stuff. However, a few years ago, it became really obvious to me that not every brand was in a position to spend money on having content created. So I want to try and help as many of them as I possibly could do understand what they could do for free with content and making the content they've got work harder for them. Free being my second favorite 4-letter word in the entire world. So I sat down, I went through a process I'd used myself, I've used it with clients, I've spoken about it on stage. I turned it into a book, called it How to 9 Times Your Social Media. And that's what all my content is about, is trying to help you create content for your brand and for your business, so that when we do get out the other side of all this craziness, because I know not everybody is still trading fully yet, once we get out the other side of it, people still have a brand, still have a business that people want to come and spend money with and are actually talking about on social media and sharing that content and sharing the value that you've got to give. So tonight, like I say, I'm going through some questions. We've had a bunch of questions come through, so I'm just going to answer them all. If you've got any questions, stick them into the comments, and maybe some of these questions will help you out. Maybe some of them are stuff you've heard before. I don't know. We will find out as we go on. Hopefully, by the way, this is going to be my last podcast, last live, last video with the longest hair ever in the world. Obviously, if you're listening on the podcast, you won't know that, but everybody else watching right now can see I look like little Lord Fauntleroy with my crazy long hair. So anyway, shall we crack on with the questions? So question number 1, Carl has asked a question. I'm in the market department for a charity. What type of social media content should we be using? Number 1, this is a really simple question to answer, so I'm going to just go through some ideas for you. Number 1, tell everybody what it is that you do, the value that you bring, the pain that you remove. Obviously, working as a charity, whatever the charity might be, you will be removing a pain point somewhere along the lines, whether you are the Dogs Trust or you are a hospice. Everybody who works in a charity is removing a pain of some sort, and there is plenty of value there that you are giving. Now, the thing is, for most charities, obviously they want more money coming in through their doors. You can't be begging for money because that just puts people off. So how do you do that? You make emotional based content, and it feels probably a little bit dirty and a little bit cheeky, but that's kind of what you've got to do. You're not trying to toy with people's emotions, but you've got to show them what it is that you do in an emotional way. If you run a hospice, you need to be talking to people who found what you provide as a service a great help. If you are the Dogs Trust, then you need to show people that you are providing a service by making sure dogs and animals aren't put down and they go to a good home and they're looked after, and the stories behind each of the dogs and making sure the right dog goes to the right home, because obviously some animals aren't keen to be around children and some animals want to be around a really old person or a slow moving person, or all that kind of stuff you make sure of. So you need to be making content that is connected to the pain that your charity removes, and also connecting people emotionally through case studies and all that kind of stuff. If you look at what things like Children in Need do or Red Nose Day do, they create content that ties people into them, draws them in emotionally by showing where the money that they are willing to give actually goes and the good that it does. And that's what you need to be doing yourself as a charity. And it doesn't have to be just video content. It could be podcasts with case studies with people. You sit down in a room with a microphone and just talk. It could be photographs of a family having fun if you're a hospice and all that kind of stuff. There's just so much content as a charity you could be creating. So just think about what it is that your charity does, the pain it removes, the value it gives. Start creating content about that. Okay, number 2, when I'm lighting my content, what should I be doing? Okay, you shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm using the room light. I've got a little spotlight there. Normally I would have an overhead light as well, but like I said, tonight's a little bit rushed. I've also got the window behind me, which is not a good thing in any way, shape or form. Unfortunately, I don't have the space to play with, but if you have the room, make sure that you are not sat with the window behind you. It will black you out a little bit. What you kind of want to be doing, if you don't have the money to spend money on having lights around you and overhead lamps and all that kind of stuff like I would normally use to do my lives, then what you want to do is make sure you're using the daylight. So this light here, that's through this window, that's really overexposed right now. Looks like Close Encounters of the Third Kind is happening on outside my window. If I could get my computer and lift it up and put it here so that I'm sat here with the light from the window lighting me, then the daylight would be a perfect light source. And yes, it's nice to have what's called 3-point lighting as a basic setup for your lighting. But if you can't afford to have lights, daylight is the way to go forward. If you can afford to have a setup with lights and you've got the space to do it, and what I would recommend is going to read the blog that I've posted underneath the question in the description below. It's all about 3-point lighting. It's about key lights, fill lights, and backlighting. And it will just give you a bit more of an idea of what you could do, even maybe with just some general household lamps and all that kind of stuff, just to give more of a feeling to your content. But hopefully that helps. But yeah, if you don't have any money, daylight is your friend. Use it if you possibly can do. Take your webcam up to face you with you facing the window so that the daylight is lighting you. You can't get much better than sunlight. It looks great. That's why we have what's called golden hour and things like that, so people can go and take photographs during sunsets and stuff because the light is just so amazing. Right, question number 3. What websites do you use to find what special days are happening? Quick and easy one for you. This one is for James, who's over in the States. I use a website called daysoftheyear.com. It's actually very American friendly as well, so really go and check it out. A lot of the days on there are American days and European/UK days. Daysoftheyear.com. Again, I've put a link to it underneath the question in the description below, so you can go and find it really easily. There's loads of others out there, but that's the one I mainly use. And a lot of days are listed on there, and it's a really, really great website. Right, question 4, another quick one. How do you caption your videos? I've said it once, I'll say it again, rev.com. There are loads of other captioning services out there, but the one I use is rev.com. There is a link in the section below. Please feel free to go and click it. It is an affiliate link. I will get a kickback if you use it, but you will also save some money as well if you use it yourself. They offer us several different services. You can get translations created for your content, so you can have international content created. You can have captions that are damn near perfect for your content created. They cost $1.25 a minute per piece of video or audio, or you can have like a rough AI created version, which is about 80% right, and you have to go in and correct it yourself. So if you've got the software to do that, that's probably the one I'd go for if you've got a little bit of extra time on your hands, because it only costs 25 cents a minute, which is a bit of a bargain if you ask me. So definitely worth taking a look at. Anyway, like I say, link down in the section below, rev.com. There are other services out there if you want to go and check them out. Question 5. This one has come through from Josh. What are some great apps for content creation? Okay, just before Christmas, I did the 24 days of Christmas, the Advent calendar. and in there was loads and loads of really great apps that you could be using. I'm just going to open up my phone so that I can go through just a few of them that I've used myself in the past. We've got Photoshop Camera, you've got Clip-O-Matic, which is one of my favorite ones. It puts captions directly onto your short videos, like 60-second videos. Really great app. WordSwag, Ripple, StorySheet creates really great animated stories for your Instagram story feed. You've also got apps like Canva, you've got Over, Spark Post, Textro. Headliner is another one that I absolutely love. Let me show you the logo for that. It looks just like that there. Absolutely brilliant app. If you have a podcast and you don't want to create video content, but you've got audio content and it's about 10 minutes long, any longer than that, I won't do it, but up to about 10 minutes, you can create what's called an audiogram, where it's a still image, but there is a waveform created on the screen for you. So it will create a video of your podcast for you. So you just need to say, this is where my podcast is. It goes, oh, thank you very much. Downloads that piece of audio, and then you can either cut clips out, which is what I do. I cut out a 60-second clip and post it on Instagram to draw people to my podcast, or you can actually create a video of the full thing if it's underneath 10 minutes long. Really great app, Headliner. They do have a paid for version, but the free version does it all, and you get, I think it's about 6 unwatermarked versions through the month, and then they start watermarking them after that. So if you're only doing like 4 podcasts a month, you're laughing. If you're doing them daily like me, you're screwed. But it's still a brilliant app. But if you want to go and check out all the other apps, go back through my Instagram feed, find December, and take a look at the app vent calendar. Some brilliant apps in there. Okay. Sam, I keep getting picked up on copyright for YouTube with the music I use. Have you got any suggestions? Yes, stop using copyrighted music, basically, is the way forward. There is such a thing as fair usage, but if you keep getting picked up for it, the chances are they have got like a marker out on your account at the moment. So it's probably not worth trying to use copyright music, even if there is that fair usage of like, I think it's 30 seconds that you can use up to. But you've got to be sensible about it. So what I would recommend is using a royalty-free music website. There are loads out there. Some of them sell the tracks individually, people like Audio Micro, which I've used for clients in the past. But there's also other websites like Epidemic Sound, which I do have a link for in the section below. They do like a subscription basis where you can sign up for as long as you want to sign up for. It works out at £10 a month. You can use all the music, all the sound effects that they've got, and they are fully licensed to be used across all your social media channels. So really well worth taking a look at something like that. There are other servers out there that will offer this kind of service. This is just the one I use. Take a look at it though, epidemicsound.com. It's linked in the section below. It is again an affiliate link, but I don't make any money from it. You save some cash and I might get a little bit of credit on my account if you actually sign up for it, but it's like next to nothing. So you don't have to use my link if you don't want to. You don't have to go and use Epidemic Sound, but if you do, that would be great. Thank you very much. Okay, last question that's come through. Just quickly check if any others are coming through. Yeah, we've got people watching, but no questions. Kerry is asking, should I be using Instagram Reels? Okay, yes, you should be using Instagram Reels. It basically is that simple. However, don't just use them for using sake. So if you have a brand or a business and you're wanting to create content, get a little bit clever with it. Get a bit creative with it. Use Instagram Reels to really showcase a bit of creativity for your brand and for your business. You don't need to just be using it just to be stood there and doing not a lot. But if you've got something to say, or if you've got a clever way of doing it, or a clever way of editing it together, or showcasing some of the behind the scenes stuff that maybe you put on stories and you could put it onto Instagram Reels as well, definitely a tool you should be using. Obviously, it's a brand new tool. Instagram want you to use it, so they're going to push that content harder. They're going to push it further to a wider audience. So yes, anybody out there who's not using it yet, you should be using Instagram Reels if you have a way of using it. If you don't force the subject, don't force the matter, because then the content will just look crap. And that's no good to anybody. Just make sure you're using it for the right reasons. Okay, right, let's have one last quick check. If you do have any questions, now is the time to get them in. I've gone through the questions that I've had come in. If you've got any questions, whatever platform, stick them into the comments. I will answer them tonight. But in the meantime, I'm going to say thank you so much to everybody who has been watching this evening, whether you're on Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. If you asked a question and I've answered it, brilliant. I hope you've got the answer that you needed. If you don't, please stick it into the comments below, whether you're watching live now or in the recording or you listen to the podcast. You can also drop me an email as well. My email address is in the description box below. And I will try and make sure that you get the answer that you need to your question. Even if you're about to throw me a question now that I haven't answered yet, I will do my absolute best to answer your question, whether it's on email or whether it's in the next live on Monday. But as there are no other questions coming through, I'm going to say have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for watching tonight. If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button. And while you're at it, why not move your mouse or your thumb ever so slightly to one side and share this content with your community so we can get more and more people involved in Dazed and Confused, in how to 9 times your social media, and get more and more help and questions coming in so that we can help more people and more brands, more businesses stay around and have people talking about them for months and years to come. But until then, thanks ever so much for watching. Have a great weekend. I know it's going to be a slightly warmer one, so enjoy that. And I will see you on Monday. But until then, stay safe and have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye.